video. If you haven't been living under a rock or you're not in the internet like I always am, you will know that the movie Finding Dory is in theaters and it's one of my favorite Pixar movies. And of course, I cannot let it go without making something cool or cute for the movie. So of course, we needed to be in a different vibe because today we're gonna be doing something Dory theme. And I know you will love it, so vamos a hacerlo. Here are the materials that you will need for this cake. Don't worry about them, I'm gonna leave them all on the description box. And the first thing you will need to do is take your Dory picture and trace it to the cardboard. We're doing this because this is gonna be the base for our cake. After you're done tracing, you can cut your cardboard. Then take your cardboard and put it on top of your cake and use it as a guide to cut your cake. After you're done cutting your cake, you can put your Dory picture on top of your cake and mark where the tail starts. After you're done marking the beginning of Dory's tail, we're gonna do a cut in an angle. We want to make the effect that the back part or the tail is going lower because you know it's thinner on the tail than on the head. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but we want it to go lower. So it looks like it's going down and it's going down to the tail that is thinner than the rest of Dory's body. After you're done cutting your Dory's head, you can put it on the cardboard with a little bit of frosting and then you can start crumb coating your cake. For this time I use this aqua blue because it looks really cool when you cut it, but you can use the same blue as Dory or even white. You choose which one you want. After I'm done putting all the frosting, I spray it with a little bit of water to smooth out the frosting so it gets smoother and perfect. Then I put it on the fridge. Now let's decorate our base. This is the materials that you will need. Don't worry, I'm gonna leave them on the description box. First, you take your 14-inch base and your aqua fondant and you're gonna roll it. This fondant, I made it myself. I just mixed a little bit of blue fondant and green fondant to get this color, but you can even use white and color with teal color or even buy it this color. I don't know if, yes, you can buy it this color. Then you roll it to the size of your 14-inch, then spray your base with a little bit of water and just spread it all around to make sure everything is wet, and then you roll your fondant on the top. Then with a fondant smoother, you just smooth all the surface, that way you don't have any air bubbles or nothing like that, and then you flip it. Then you can cut with a knife or like I'm doing this time with the pixar cutter, just the edges, all the excess fondant that you have on the sides. Now our base is ready to start some coral decorations. Before I start making any coral decorations, I need to measure where I'm gonna put Dory. That way I don't put any corals where Dory's gonna be because then I don't have no space for her. First I do that, then I start rolling the fondant on the colors that I want my corals. I first roll some green to make some algae or some green leaves coming up. I'm done adding all the algae that I wanted, I just cut the excess algae that was coming out of my base. Then I start running the other colors. This one I'm doing yellow, and I'm not actually rolling it, I'm just stretching it in different directions to make like a rustic wavy look that looks like a coral rock. Then I glue it. Then with a little sharp fondant tool, I start poking it, and it looks like the texture on the corals is really cool. And then I do that with other different colors. Then for my orange, I wanted to do something different. I wanted to do those tubey things that you see on reefs. So I just made 3 little balls in different sizes, and then I form them in little cones like you see here. And then I took the same tool that I used for my yellow reef and just poke it once on the middle, and it makes like a star cone shape to them on the middle, and it looks super cool and cute. And then I just grab the 3 of them and glue them together and make like a little bunch of coral reefs, and I glue it to the side of my yellow coral. Of course, what is a reef without Nemo's house? I'm gonna sound like the little octopus and an anemone. Oh my god, I don't know if I say it right. I just roll a little bit of purple fondant, put them together, and add it to my reef. Then after you're done with all your corals, just cut any excess that is out of your base and you're done. Now let's start decorating the cake. The first thing, you need to take the cake out of the fridge, and let's do the tail because we're making the tail. First, with a little bit of fondant, we're gonna use our Dory picture as guide to make the shape of the tail. Like, you know, the tail goes from thick, that is the head side, to the thinnest part. So that's the way you want to thin your fondant line. Then you take your picture and use it as template and cut it. Done cutting the tail, you can glue it to the head. That way now you have your whole Dory body cake. Now I take my Dory picture and some white fondant, and I decided what things I want to highlight or pop up a little bit more. So I decided to make her eyebrows and her mouth a little bit more with depth, so it looks more cool. So I just put a little bit of fondant and just make the shapes and on top of the picture, and then I transfer those little fondant pieces onto the cake, and now I roll my blue fondant to cover the whole cake. Now you can cover your cake. If you see, I don't roll my fondant on the top of the cake. I put it on the top because I don't want to move either their eyebrows or the mouth out of place. So I put it on top, and then the first thing you're gonna do is gonna mark all those indentations or those details. And then I just put a little bit of water to my tail because it's not cake, it doesn't have frosting, it's fondant, and you want your blue fondant to glue. So I just put the water on last, because if you put it first, then it will glue that, and then you won't have any time to smooth it or move it around if you need it. And then just start smoothing all your sides and all your top, and cut your excess with an X-Acto knife or with a pizza cutter. Then with the fondant ball tool, I just start to mark where the eyes are gonna be, and I just exaggerate a little bit more the mouth and all those details till they come a little bit out. Then I started making my eyes. With using my picture, I just imitate the shape that I see on the picture, and then I glue it to the cake. Then to finish my eyes, I get some black fondant and I look for a round cutter that is the same size as Dory's eyes, and I cut my black fondant and I glue it to my eyes. Now let's do other Dory details, like her black part on her body. Using the picture, we're gonna take that part off so we can use it as template. Then you roll a little bit of black fondant and you cut it. After you're done cutting it, you can add it to Dory's body. Now with your template and some blue fondant, you can trace her fin to make it. Now with the fin, you can put it on top of some jello fondant so you can measure the little tip and to make the little ombre look that she has of yellow and black. After you're done adding your yellow and your black to the fin, you can do some lines on the fin to make that fin texture to them, and it looks super cute, and then you can add it to the cake. Now let's add one of our last details, the tail. With a little bit of jello fondant, you just roll it, and using our template once again, we cut it and then glue it to the cake. Let's add our last detail, her freckles. You can totally leave them out, but I think they're so cute, so I want to add them. So with a little bit of blue color, I just make some random dots on the tip of her nose, and then I glue my cake to my base. Then after I was done, I decided that I wanted to add some bubbles because you've been seeing bubbles all this video, so we need to add some bubbles to Dory. So I just added some bubbles and we're done. I hope you enjoy it. I love you guys and I see you next time. Bye-bye. And here you have it, the Dory cake. I hope you enjoy it. If you do, please give me a big thumbs up. If you have any questions, leave me a comment below. Don't forget to subscribe and I see you next time. Bye-bye.